today we are going to talk about an anime that is known as Guilty Crown. It's a post-apocalyptic anime in which the protagonist gets a special power given to him by a girl, and he uses that power to withdraw voids from people. Voids are usually weapons from people that could be withdrawn, and these weapons are usually similar to the personality and reflective of the personality of the people they have. When I started watching this anime, the personality of the protagonist was very similar to a person that is very shy and kind-hearted, and as it turns out that he becomes stronger and stronger with fighting many foes, and at some point he loses his best friend, his friend that was actually present when he was very small. He also had a sister, which turns out that she was the one that causes the apocalypse that led up to this point. And the story gets complicated here, as we know that the power that Shu has is coincidental. He is given power by a girl that he found in the shack that he video edits the photos that he clicked. He finds this girl and she gives him this power. He joins this organization where this girl works in, and he finds out about a person named Guy. The only problem here is that Guy was actually Shuma's best friend when he was little, and also a friend of his sister that went crazy and caused this pandemic. So the story doesn't make sense here. If it was purely coincidental, what in the world is the chances of Shu getting the power? That just kind of doesn't make sense. This anime was great in the sense that it was very nice to watch. It was pleasant. It kept you on your toes. It was really fast paced, but it wasn't really that appealing. It could give you the entertainment you require, but I wouldn't recommend it as a first anime. If you have never watched anything about anime, there's a lot to receive in that anime. If you want just a little piece of the anime, then I wouldn't recommend Guilty Crown. It's most unstory like story. Like there's a lot of hindrance in the story that it's kind of more complicated than a simple anime story. Like even if it's complicated, it's fine, but the story doesn't make any sense. That's the problem that I have with it. When I first got to see the anime, I was expecting an anti-hero. I was expecting a person that turns out to be a protagonist that started off as a good character and then turns into an anti-hero. But the reason that the protagonist becomes this anti-hero and how he actually executes this anti-hero is really not very great. Since he becomes this anti-hero because his beloved Hare is killed in the crossfire, he thinks that the only way to distinguish the people with better voids with the people that don't have. But just before Hare was killed in the previous episodes, Guy was also killed, his best friend, and his subordinate Ayase that really loved Guy was also torn to pieces. But he becomes so selfish, tried to save everyone with ordering them to do different things. That was clearly the reflection of what the government in this anime was doing, and therefore people disobey him, and at some point forward he's betrayed, and suddenly Guy appears again and Guy cuts off his arm, and his arm was the thing that made him the king, that gave him the power to withdraw voids, and he takes the power for himself, and now Guy is a bad character. And the explanation given for him in such a way is also very lousy, because he says that he was acting this way at the end because he thought that he has to fulfill the role as in supporting Mana. Mana is actually the sister of the protagonist that caused this pandemic and was broken to different pieces. There was so much wrongly done up with this anime that I thought that this anime had a lot of potential, but since there were a lot of problems with this anime, I think that its execution could have been better. Well, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.